Feeling overwhelmed by your never-ending to-do list? Well, you're not alone. What if I told you that there's a simple habit that successful people like Elon Musk swear by to stay on top of their game without feeling like a slave to the calendar? I'm sharing the exact strategies that will help you beat procrastination and take control of your day. Let's dive in. Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we discuss topics like productivity, creativity, entrepreneurship, business, lifestyle design, and much more. So if any of these strike a bell, please consider subscribing because I post videos every week. Enough of the intros, let's get started. You saw this coming, didn't you? But I'm going to speak about it yet again because it is just so effective. This is a productivity technique where you block the exact time in your calendar for all the things that you want to get done. Now, you can either block the exact thing that you want to get done, or you can just time block for that particular area of life or the category of work that you want to work on, and then run a separate checklist of the items that you want to accomplish in that particular time block. Either of it works. Interestingly, some of the world's most successful CEOs like Elon Musk use this to get all the work done among their insane workloads. Now, a lot of people just come lashing onto me saying that if you just run your life based on a silly calendar, you're nothing but a slave to it. It just kills all the freedom, you know. But those who know that it is the exact opposite. You are not a slave. You are in full control because it was you who put all those things onto the calendar in the first place. And because deep down you care about those things, deep down you want to accomplish those things. That is how you want your life to look like. That is how you want your typical day in life to look like. But now, because you're distracted by the likes of Instagram or TikTok or whatever, they tempt you away from what you had planned. They make you not want to do the thing that you yourself in your sane mind plan to accomplish, and that is where you lose control. Instead, you can just mentally reframe all of this as a command that you're giving to yourself. Hence, I named this technique the calendar command. You just follow the command every time the calendar tells you to do something, which is basically you following your own orders. By doing that, you are moving towards the goals that you set for yourself in some way or the other. Of course, following the calendar command is not always easy, and that is where the 10-minute momentum comes into play. And different people call this by different names. It is called the 10-minute rule or the 5-minute rule or even the 20-minute rule. But basically, the idea is that you force yourself to work on a particular thing for a short amount of time to overcome the initial resistance. Most of the time, the reason we are procrastinating is not because the task is hard, but because we are too lazy to just get started. There is just an inherent resistance to starting something new that is ingrained in our DNAs. It is just a survival instinct. Back in the day, in the tribal times, if you went on to explore a new part of the jungle and left your clan behind, there are high chances that you are gonna get eaten by a lion or something. But if you stayed safe, if you stayed with your clan, if you stayed where you are, you might as well live. Hence, our brain learned to resist the unknown in starting something new. You see, the humans have become civilized only a few hundred years back, and we still carry our caveman minds around. But fortunately, the modern world is a much more safer place, and to be honest, it rewards choices and careers that are more risk-taking and endeavors that are more adventurous. Now, over time, I've realized that I don't need to fight my natural instincts. I don't need to go against my genes. And this is something that I keep in my mind every time I have a calendar slot and I have to get to work, but I just don't feel like working on it. I just tell myself that I'm only gonna push through the first 10 minutes on working on this thing. And even after that, if I don't feel like working, I can just drop it. But most often, I just tend to continue working on the thing for hours. The only catch is, for the initial 10 minutes, I have to just push through. I have to just build the initial momentum, and I just have to not allow to leak my concentration onto scrolling Instagram or TikTok. It's like starting a giant flywheel. It is very hard to start, but once it gets started, once it's spinning, it is very difficult to stop. But even when you have built momentum, you may ask, what is the point of all this? What is the point of starting so late when I could have started so earlier and have gotten better results, faster results, and moreover, There are people who started way back and they are so far ahead of me. I get it. I've had those thoughts too. But every time those doubts creep in, I remind myself of the famous Chinese proverb: the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is now. And this is so powerful. 10 years ago, people said that YouTube is saturated and there's no point coming in and making content because every piece of content that you make has already been made. But I see people a couple of years back who just started their channels and they have become successful and are a big hit now. Similarly, when I was changing my fields from traditional mechanical design to software engineering, everyone around me told that it is the recession and that the software industry bubble has been burst and it is very late to join the industry and that I might as well stay in my field. But still, I made the jump, I switched my fields to something that I love, plus something that had better prospects, and I could not be happier and more satisfied. So, there will always be a better time in the past to do the thing that you want to do, but there is always a possibility of making this thing the biggest hit of your life if you just start right now. In the end, I still wonder, why am I doing this to myself? The 10-minute rule is really hard in the first few moments when I'm trying to get something done, but I don't want to get it done, but I want to get it done in the grand scheme of things. And there's a lot of stuff that's happening in my brain, but I can't just work, but I have to work. And even after pushing, I get the momentum, I get into the flow state. And even after completing the task, I still wonder. I still question if it's good enough or if I should just be chilling as some of my other friends. But then I remind myself that I'm doing it for my future self. Every time I show discipline in those first 10 moments and pushed past them, I make it easier for my future self to show up the next time. And even easier the next time. Discipline builds momentum, just like that flywheel we talked about. And over time, it makes you mentally strong. You'll be surprised to know how many things in this life are just mental games. They're just games to gauge how tough you are mentally. And for me, being mentally strong is very important because for me, it's an enabler to do the things that I want to do in life. And that's that. So thank you so much guys if you are still here at this stage of the video. I'm really grateful to know that you spent the last few minutes watching this, and please do leave in the comments if you have applied any of these strategies or if you are struggling with other procrastination problems. I'll be happy to go through them, reply to them, and even make a detailed evidence-based videos on the solutions on how you can overcome them. If you like this video, you are definitely going to like this one where I talk about perfectionism and overcoming it. As always, do hit like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.